Um, I came to University of Florida when I was very young. I was 16 years old and started in electrical engineering at that time. And my goal was very, very simple. My goal was that I was going to stay here forever. I like Gainesville. I love my Gators. So to me, this was a no-brainer. I would get my bachelor's, my master's, my PhD, and I will teach at University of Florida. That was it from day one. With the exception that I wanted to play baseball, and that didn't work out. But that's a different story for another time. I was finishing my master's, starting my PhD, was teaching a semiconductor lab for seniors, level 5 course. And all of a sudden, this was 1968, and all of a sudden we got a letter from Jacksonville, Florida, that I needed to report there for a physical. In the middle of the Vietnam War, and they felt that I already had spent enough time at University of Florida and my student deferment was run out. So all of a sudden, a big, huge decision, right? What the heck do I do? And the beauty of what University of Florida did for me, right, was that opened new doors. The new doors was that a lot of the students that were going through my lab were going to either ITT or Harris Semiconductor in either Palm Beach or Melbourne, and they were all getting deferments because both of those companies were designing circuits for the warhead of the Trident missile. So I called somebody, one of the students, and I said, you guys still hiring? And they said, I think so. I said, well, why don't you go see personnel, human resources today. That's how far back I go, right? And they called me back and they asked me if they could have a reference from about University of Florida, who did I took lessons from and who's helping me with my thesis, etc. And I gave him the name, and the guy said, well, we'll call you. Well, the next day he called, and he said, when can you start? So here I am. I had just met my dear wife-to-be, and she was a freshman, and I was, already getting my graduate degrees. And so I called the guy, and when he said, when can you start? And I said, you're still giving deferments? And he said, yes. And I said, Monday. So I basically had to drop out so I never finished my PhD, never taught a course at University of Florida. I went on to become a semiconductor guy. Timing is everything, right? So here we are, 1969, just in the influx of what was happening in the semiconductor world. And luckily there I am. So I went into the semiconductor business, and it all really happened because of this university having the ability to do what we did, right? Having to, at the time, back in 1968, we started a semiconductor lab at University of Florida, and it was one of the few semiconductor labs anywhere in the United States, and definitely the first in the South. So that opened some doors that were, the ability to be able to do what I did next, which was to go in the semiconductor business.